in the. Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Sean Bond, founder of Sonic League, and we have a special awesome guest on today, and hope you guys are excited. I got the famous, amazing Mike Barr today of Ancient Aliens. Can you explain to the audience that don't know who you are, if they're living in a cave, who you are and how did you get into this?
You don't know who I am? What? I'm an author, lecturer, TV personality. I've been a TV presenter, done a lot of stuff for years. Did a lot of did about 100 Ancient Aliens shows. Been working with the Y-Files folks on a lot of stuff. Did a great interview with them recently with AJ Gentili back in January. It's got almost 2 million views now, which is really awesome. And I talk about aliens, UFOs, secret space programs, hyperdimensional physics, the physics of spirituality, ancient artifacts on the moon, ancient artifacts on Mars, ancient aliens and secret societies, and the infiltration of secret societies. And the coming financial reset, the coming reset of the entire planet, that kind of thing. And I've been doing it for 20, 25 years, pretty much since I quit the aerospace industry. So that's pretty much what I do, Sean. And by the way, you look so different with a beard and the long hair. I'm jealous of the hair, by the way. You know, you used to look like Jordan Sather, man. Now you just look like Sean Bond.
Yeah. You know, I'll probably go back and forth and trying on the different looks. People keep calling me Merlin, so
you do that over the years till you find the one you want to settle on.
Yeah. I'll do a mohawk next, and we'll try the other things. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on.
Sure.
So everyone out there, we're both going to be presenting at the 5D conference in Sedona. Mm-hmm. So that's in about like 17th, 18th, 19th arena this month. So come on down to Sedona and look that up. We got in the description of this video, at least on my channel, how to get your tickets. So get your tickets. So what kind of things are you going to be presenting at this conference?
Well, I've written my conspiracy books, my technical space books about photography and stuff. So I don't think I'm going to do too much of that. I've also wrote a book about 15 years ago called The Choice, which is about hyperdimensional physics, where the science of that came from, which actually came from some mathematical alignments of ruins on Mars, which is kind of extraordinary. So I'll probably tell that tale a little bit. I haven't talked about that in a few years, and how all of this crazy hippie 5D hyperdimensional stuff that we think of as very woo-woo and spiritual is actually grounded in hard science. I mean, there's actually science experiments that a lot of people haven't heard of that say that there is a hyperdimensional ether all around us, that there is this membrane of consciousness, and it carries consciousness, and it carries and drives physics. And I'm going to talk about that. I haven't talked about that in years since I was promoting The Choice. That book came out in 2010. So, I'm ready to talk about that again. I think I'll emphasize more of that and the connection to space aliens, because really, I'm nobody without the space aliens. I mean, that's my whole thing, is the space aliens. So it'll be a combination. I really haven't, like I said, 17th, 18th, 19th, about 2 weeks coming up. And I haven't really thought about it yet, but I better get a presentation together here. So it'll be great, I promise.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like, I love this topic. So like growing beyond the limitations of this reality, and like the kind of matrixy kind of system that we're in, mm-hmm. that like dumbs people down and limits and keeps people in a mental beliefs prison that holds them back. And then what the tales of the great men from the past, and the ascended beings, and the enlightened, and the growth and the evolution and the superpowers and the other things of people, of sages, of saints, and people of the past have been able to achieve. I'd love to hear a little bit of your takes on how what things you've decoded and seen and brought out to strong grounding in reality out of the woo natures and the things that we
Yeah.
hear about. And
Well,
as a powerful, incarnating, if you want to say, possibly beyond this planet type of soul that you are, came here to free people and reconnect them back with the grander consciousness. Yeah, you'd be good at bringing us this bridge.
Well, that's an interesting question. And, it's like we talk about this 3D reality, and the fact is we're here. We don't live in that other reality. And although we can feel its influence, we can feel its impact, and we can utilize its tools when the conditions are right. So I'm very focused on three-dimensional reality and changing the way people think here on this planet. And then, it's interesting you brought up the matrix kind of thing, because it's, the financial world is a parallel. It's a good example of a matrix type situation, because very few people understand what money is, where it comes from, how it's created. And that's all very spiritual, and that's a whole separate thing I could do. But I don't think I'm going to have time to talk about that in Sedona. But you never know. You never know when you open your mouth, right, where it's going to go. You think you got everything figured out, but then it may end up going off just based on a question or something somewhere else. So one of the things that I think is really important in understanding where we're at and the shifting of our consciousness is that these ancient beings you talk about, how are they able to do things that we can't do today? How did they build the pyramids? They always show you, this is how the pyramids were built. And they have some guy with a pulley with a little square block about this big. And in fact, some of those stones were hundreds of tons and literally couldn't be moved today by the equipment we have today. So if they didn't have technology, how did they do it? And one of the things I found in researching the book, The Choice, was, which, by the way, New Page Books, you can still get it on Amazon. One of the things I found was that there is an increase in psionic powers or ESP when the Earth is in a proper alignment with the center of the galaxy. And this is one of the things I'll talk about in Sedona. It's really interesting. And there are certain times of the day when Sagittarius A, the center of the galaxy, is overhead, that there's a temporal effect on ESP abilities during that period of time. And so this was found in experimentation. And so what it seems to be is that the life energy, the source energy coming from the center of the galaxy, enables us to do things that we couldn't do, to sense things, to use our intuition, and to use, I think, our mental powers. So what I think we've been in a 2,160 year dark cycle. And that dark cycle may actually be a situation where we've had a lot more interstellar dust and clouds between us and Vishnu's navel is what the Indians called it, right? It's really the center of the galaxy. It's where all the life energy in this galaxy comes from. We've been blocked from that in the visual spectrum and another spectrum. So I think what's happened over the last couple thousand years is we've been literally through an occulted age, an age where we couldn't connect to that source that's coming out of the center of the galaxy, that source energy. And I think back then they could, and they were able to do things like using light and sound to lift objects and move these titanic stones and actually, influence physical reality. And that was why people used to do chanting and incantations, and it was effective back in the day. And it's not really as effective now because we've been through this blocked period. So I think what happened in history is that we were not able to do things anymore the way we wanted to, the way we used to, by using this light waves and sound waves to manipulate reality and negate gravity. So we had to start moving towards technology and developing our minds. And that's what we've been through for the last couple of thousand years, at least, maybe even more than just one zodiacal cycle. It could be a lot more, but Pisces is definitely an occulted age. That has ended. I think it's already ended. I think it ended in 2012. If not, it's going to end in 2024. It would have been scheduled to end in 2024. Here we are in 2026. Everybody's waking up. Consciousness is returning. And I suspect, Sean, that as we go through our development in the next few decades and get more directly connected with that source energy, that what's going to happen to us is that we're going to get magically smarter. We're going to be able to do more things with stuff that seems like magic and that was once called magic, but actually is just physics disguised as magic. So that's where I think we're headed, and that's why these guys were able to do things. There's an old saying: English is the language of magic. That's why they call it spelling. So I think we'll get back to that.
Oh, I agree completely. I've been talking about that for years. Let's bring the magic back. I agree with all that, and I love that term, magically get smarter. That's what I've been working on in psionic amplitude, towards a release of blocks in the collective consciousness of what is downgrading our IQ. I've found IQ is not a fixed number, and we can increase it as we understand the esoteric anatomy of the body. I do also agree that there's been a shift, like with Kali Yuga and the precession of the equinox and the Sirius binary star system, with us being farther away, Iron Age, a golden age closer, and some dimensional fall that happened through great wounding of past civilizations, catastrophes, meteorites, whatever, and then us going into some ego survival mechanism with our reality and spectrum of limiting what we can perceive in, like a quarantining, and veils coming down, so that it's like a system of quarantining systems, kind of like quarantining a cancer with a tumor to keep it from spreading. And then as that resolves, the veils come down as it feels safer, and we perceive more and can do more. And then telekinesis and things like that went away, and geomantics, and the density of magic going down as systems shut down and the esoteric anatomy shuts down, and that we're coming out of facing a resiliency period and then building back up, and bringing the magic back.
And that's the thing, is when
Tower of Babel falling and telepathy going away for that.
Right. And when the magic doesn't work anymore, you have to use your intellect. You have to use the other tools that you have to develop tools, technologies to do for you what you used to be able to do with your heart, your mind, and your spirit. And that's what we've been through, and that's what I think we're coming out of. We're beginning to come out of in the last dozen years or so.
Yeah. So what kind of things do you think because definitely there's a locomotion and imminence to it in our psionic limitlessness as an emergent species, and going to type 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., to whatever, like with Q in Star Trek type civilization, in evolution potentiality. But especially with the spurs of great geniuses such as yourself and people of the past that have made great strides and foundational analytics of going deep into understanding something and then spreading that knowledge with the collective, so that it is known and spreads greater than just reading it, but also into the 100 monkey effect, and is ingrained in our past any amnesia barrier or whatever. Species.
Well, yeah, I think I agree with most all of that. I don't know. It feels imminent, but is it really imminent? I don't know. I know a major financial thing is imminent, and the opportunity, why I call the book The Choice, is if we choose a better world, if that's what we choose on December 21st, 2012, which I believe we did. That's why we're still here. We choose this better world, then we're going to redo everything. We're going to redo our governmental structures, our financial structures, our hierarchies, our educational hierarchies, and all these systems. We're going to change the way we do everything, because we're of a higher consciousness now, not because we've ascended into 5D, but maybe we're just more connected to root source than we were, like that, which is a physical, like I said, that physical center of the galaxy. The sun orbits around that, and we orbit around the sun and all that. So I think it's important that, every generation, Sean, thinks they're the one, they're the big deal, they're the most important thing. And I believe we probably are here. We're here at the beginning of this major shift, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we decide to do with it. But there's still so much resistance from the old guard, the old pressure, the old systems that we're fighting right now. We're watching them come down. We're watching them fall apart. There's a senator from Kentucky who's been a major roadblock to progress in the last 10 years because he's a criminal. He's part of the criminal political class. And he's brain dead. Let's face it. Mitch McConnell is brain dead. And the entire old guard, the mainstream press is trying, oh no, I talked with him for 20 minutes today. He's sharp as a tack, just like they told us.
And a bunch of people talk to him 20 minutes of the same thing, right?
Exactly. And I just found a picture online that somebody took, and I had it run through Grok AI. It's not AI. It's not Photoshop. It sure as shiz looks like Mitch McConnell on life support. And nobody believes it. You go on Twitter, and nobody with a brain, nobody who's a little bit awake believes this BS anymore. Just like when the political stuff comes out now, nobody believes in it anymore. And the old guard, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, they got to be running scared because none of their old tricks are going to work anymore. And that's one of the things I put in the end of the choice that I told people was they only have their existing playbook, and all of a sudden it's not going to work anymore. And then they're not going to know what to do. And then they're going to panic. And that's when we get into a dangerous situation. So what's important for all of us, guys like you and me, is to keep doing these conferences, keep talking to people. Even if you only expand the wakefulness by one person at this conference, even if only one person gets something they didn't get and goes out and proselytizes it and talks it up, that's a success. So, because eventually the dam's going to break. And the whole thing is just going to come tumbling down. And the flood of truth is going to wash over the entire world.
Oh, that's so true and brilliant. And I've been experiencing that too. And yeah, I don't believe there's going to be like a determined event and, just wait around the corner or anything. I think that we need to do it ourselves. Mm-hmm. And keep analyzing the problems and understanding, and like with psionics as a mind over matter, it can form into the solution for any problem, innovation, overcoming an idea, the problem solving, and that once a person understands that equation and starts spreading it, and then goes to the collective, and then more immunity is had. That's what was needed with the deep state. And there's this parasitic system attached to us, and draining is annoying. And I found a lot of that, if we find that the internal representation to an external factor, such as the elite and the deep state, as the government, governante meant control, the mind control, goes into the internal systems of the consciousness. It's a control center. And if you have control of that and spread that cure to the rest, there's like a representation of everything. And then you can spread that outward. And people are through thought process and analyzing and understanding what's going on and overcoming their challenges in life, they get more and more immune and magically smarter, as you said. And I think people, as they get to understand these deeper problems that we face internally, externally, and find that representation of themselves, they work on it themselves, it goes to making that subtle energy change that then becomes like a locomotion snowball effect that then can change the timeline shift. Like, things have happened with you at conferences where it shifts the whole timeline. It's great to see. I also love to hear about what you've heard on the currency reset and what might be going on, and what you think might need to happen in the individual and the collective level to make it so that it's a snowball effect that the elite's obsolete plan cannot stop.
The thing is, no financial system can create prosperity from the top down. Prosperity is not created from the top down. It's created from the bottom up by the individual selections and choices of individual human beings. And the system that best services that process of prosperity is capitalism, undeniably. I've followed the currency reset for a long time. It's part of a much bigger financial reset that is going to happen. It's not the great reset that what's his name, Klaus Schwab likes to talk about. That's been scuttled. So what I hear now, we're right there, Sean. It's been 15 long years I've been following this. It could have happened at almost any time. We do appear to be right there. There appear to be some geopolitical issues, maybe Iran, that are holding things up at the moment. The orange man has his finger on the button. All it takes is his signature to let this thing go. And that's where we're at. I mean, it's really, really close. I have some psychic friends, Susan Gretz, who's on my show, and she says by the end of the month. And I also have practical friends who are completely grounded. And they've heard from military contacts that it's by the end of the month. And the purpose of this and why we're so important is that assuming it's not just about us having prosperity and driving Ferraris, all of us and all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of that. And I'm going to be among them, by the way. But it's because you then put into motion projects for humanity, projects for the world, or even like me, one of my fantasies is I want to buy Star Trek from Paramount and fix it. That will employ thousands of people worldwide and create prosperity for them, even those who don't know about the currency reset. And the currency part of it is the last part of it, but I think it's the most crucial because the whole reason why all of these other things are taking place, all this gold is being brought online, the fact that we're going to a asset-backed system, a metal-backed system, among many things, precious metals, is because we need to flood the world with liquidity, because we really are in the death throes of the old, corrupt, usury system that's been run by the Bank of London and the Vatican for thousands of years. And it's coming to an end. It will die very soon. And the only way to prevent it from taking all of us with it back to the Stone Age in terms of finances is going to be basically flooding the world with liquidity. It's a second flood. And I think that's kind of what's going on. So what I can tell you about it is we're right on the brink of this. I believe people have been saying that for years, but I can't think of a single thing that needs to be done that I'm aware of for this to proceed. And the only thing that's left really is to create a scare event or a shock event that will convince everybody, oh yeah, we need to do this. We need to, audit the gold at Fort Knox because, oh, guess what? All of our paper money's not worth anything anymore. So that kind of thing. But I do expect there will be some sort of show event. But, I don't know. I don't think Donald Trump wants there to be a collapse of the dollar. And I think that that's part of why this has taken so long is he's not, the plan was to collapse the US dollar, bring the economy down with it, and then replace it with this new system that would equalize everybody across the planet. I don't think that's the plan anymore. So, you asked me a question with a really long answer that may be a little over the heads of people who haven't heard of this. But let me just say this, go out, buy some gold, buy some silver, go to the airport and buy some Vietnamese money. It's cheap. You can get 1 million for like $60. 1 million dong, Vietnamese dong. Go buy some. You won't regret it. In the end, you will not regret it.
Yeah, go get some dong, guys. And
the girls go get the dong, not the guys.
Yeah, right. And so like I've been struggling with this understanding. I do see it coming into the future, but like what I've been struggling as I research, the different financial systems of capitalism, socialism, communism, and other stuff, and like the different kingships and whatever, like Ubuntu and other things. How do you keep motivation strong to keep working and keep people working while making it so that you can bring more wealth and get people out of extreme poverty? And it seems there needs to be some watchers of the watchmen watching the watchmen kind of thing going on, right? Because they try to parasitically steal and compartmentalize all the wealth, and it's awful. But Yeah. What do you think?
This is the problem. The problem is look, let's face it. There's a lot of people that you and I know. You're a productive person, but there's a lot of people you and I know that if they didn't have to go out and work to pay their bills and have a place to live and all of the things that, oh, it sucks that we have to pay rent, just to live have a house. It's like, well, on the other hand, if you don't have to pay that, if you have a universal basic income, a minimum income of, I don't know, let's say $5,000 a month, a lot of people, especially this generation, are going to sit around, chew gummies, smoke weed, and play video games all day. And that does not move the human race forward. So I think I don't know that I know the solution to that, because the greater the prosperity, the greater the largesse really in society, because there are people who are not highly motivated. I think AI is going to be doing a lot of the jobs too. That's the other thing, Sean, is that you're the lower level jobs, the labor jobs, they're practically ready to replace all of them with AI. I mean, look, AI robots can be the garbage men. We're not going to need garbage men anymore in a year or two. And this has happened so fast. It's come on so fast that we now have these robots that are good at just about everything. And they're only going to get better. And they get better. They're like, you jump a generation in 6 months. And then, of course, we're going to have the female companion robots, which is going to be really interesting when that hits. So this is a problem.
Talked about that in the other conference, and that was very interesting. And everyone was willing to engage in that. And it's like, that's an important conversation. So please do.
Well, I didn't really want to go there. I didn't plan on going there, but I think Julia came and brought it up, or Paula, I forget. And I'm like, well, let's talk about sex bots, because what you have is you have this challenge. You do have this challenge, Sean. You have the challenge of what happens to human ambition if everybody's needs are taken care of, and what happens to human relationships if you can have an artificial girlfriend that's exactly what you want, in every way, including sexually. Then, and that's coming. If it ain't here already, it's coming very soon, within probably a year or two. So these are things we have to seriously consider. Now, again, I think AI is going to do many of the jobs that human beings have done to this point. So those people, how are we going to take care of them? What are we going to do? People will be freer to choose something productive to do. And I think what we'll have to do initially is to set up a system where, okay, you can have a tiny house and a bus pass, on your minimum income. But if you want a car, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to be productive. You're going to have to do some kind of job, or you're going to have to pick some sort of career, but you'll have the luxury of picking something you really want to do rather than something you have to do, right? If you can't pay rent and have a roof over your head, you got to take anything. This way you'll be able to choose, I think, with a minimum income, you'll be able to choose a path that appeals to you. Well, let's see. I like sports. Okay, I'll work for the local football team, the Raiders or something. I'll go work at the stadium. That'll be my job. So at least you'll be able to do something like that. I think that's one of the things that will happen. And then I think the other thing that we're gonna be doing is they're gonna set up these retirement plans. And I think you're only gonna have to work from the time you're 18 to 22, whenever we decide that is, till you're 55. And then everybody, when they retire, is going to be much better taken care of than they are now. And I think that, you don't have to work after 55. You can just go do what you want. You can travel the world. They're going to set up new systems. I think these Trump accounts are part of this system, first generation of this system, where you work and you get credits, you get money that goes into this account that you can use to buy a house. If you want a better house, if you want that nice big house on the hill, guess what? You can't sit around and just get that on basic income. You're going to have to go produce something for society to get that extra scratch. So I think we're going to have a transitional society where we have a basic safety net, not the corrupt safety net that we have now. That's going to be how we're going to do that. Now, as to the sex bot thing, I don't know. And it gets even weirder when you start talking about the medbed technology, right? I mean, do you have anything do you want to bring up? Do you want to talk about the
Yeah, sure.
robot thing? I mean,
Yeah, and all that, and like, how do we increase the intelligence of our species and solve the masculine problems? Because there's, big crisis in the masculinity, especially dealing with the new technology and the dating market and the world we're in now.
yeah.
Feel free to comment.
Yeah, I got into a spat today. I think I was just telling you about it with somebody online, a female who had been bugging me for months, and I just wouldn't compromise because I'm a guy. I'm going to do what I want. I don't care if you don't like it. I'll go find another girl. That's that's the attitude that's actually what women are attracted to, which they don't want to admit, but they are. Let's face it, let's look at it, Sean. I mean, they all love the bad boys. They all love the bad boys that are 6 feet tall, six pack, six figures. So you got 90% of the
Yeah,
women.
the 666 spell.
Yeah.
6 inches also.
Yeah, 6 inches also. By the way, lady, you know how long 6 inches is? That's longer than that. That's pretty big, ladies. I don't know if you really want that 6 inches.
Next time it'll be 7 packs.
Yeah.
And
7 packs.
feet,
Yeah. So, if a guy, the danger is if a guy can order up a robot, and right now they're, I don't know, $173,000, which is a little pricey. But as well as I do, you know what the first HD TVs cost? They cost about $100,000, and they were not even as good as a 32-inch, basic one you got now. And then now they're a few hundred. So they're going to come down in price. And so if a guy wants to, he's going to be able to sit around, smoke weed, drink beer, eat pizza, play video games, and have a girlfriend, a robot girlfriend, without doing anything. So human interaction is going to suffer. And what happens to love then? Like, how do people fall in love? How do you fall in love with your robot? I mean, I really can see that that's coming. So
we're already doing that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what was that movie, that Lars and the Real Girl or something, where there was a sex doll and he thought she was real? It's going to happen. And they're going to get more and more realistic. So, I mean, then what happens to the birth rate? Are we making enough babies? So we've got this very distorted picture now where, it's not okay to be a guy anymore. I mean, if a girl is going to come to our conference in a bikini, I'm going to look, and people are like, well, what are you looking at her for? Well, because she's got a really hot bod and she's dressed in a bikini. Why is that not okay? And I post stuff sometimes, and all I'm doing is just stating the reality of what most guys think. And the pushback I get is like, well, you're not supposed to think like that. Well, why not? I mean, we're men, and we're not going to change. I mean, we're kind of built the way we are. We kind of think the way we do. I hate to tell you this, ladies, but looks are the first thing that attracts us. They are. Women, it's more money, power, success. Those things
frame game,
frame game, and
muscle.
then looks are kind of fourth. Although it's a big deal with women. And all we've done with feminism is we've tried to convince women to act like men. And so the result is that nobody wants to be together anymore. I don't want to be with men. I mean, I meet a girl and she's very masculine and aggressive, and I'm just like, well, shot that one off the list. So I don't know.
Yeah. That's and a lot of men are afraid to talk about it, and they get canceled for it. And so it's relief, fresh air when people unapologetically speak. Despite not wanting to hear, some people not wanting to hear it. It's like we gotta speak. Everyone's gotta speak their truth so that we can come to the table and understand. And then who wants to shut down the conversation, tone police? It's not helping because there's misunderstandings. There's propaganda and programming that is separating humanity to cause a population collapse. And
Yes.
there's been infiltration by the deep state, the CIA, communism, and other things that want to muddy, destroy the masculine, because it makes it easy to break down a society when you destroy the strong masculine. And then you can then program the feminine, and then the feminine programs the next generations to do whatever they want. So people don't know that their internal dialogues, their ego, their emotional body is mind controlled, and they just go along with whatever it says. Oh, that didn't make me sound good. I didn't like the way you said that. Truth is pointy. It doesn't feel good all the time when it's breaking down previous paradigms. And we have to face those hard truths and be okay with being comfortable, because not being okay with being comfortable is there's a part of ourself that is still a child.
They are trying to stigmatize masculinity. And that's why I do my show on Tuesdays, Toxically Masculine Tuesday. 4 dudes, we talk about whatever we want. Think of it as if we were all sitting around, drinking whiskey, smoking a cigar, and shooting the shit. That's the way guys
that sounds fun.
talk. And we'll talk about girls, but we mostly talk about politics and things. But it's like that's just who we are. And more guys have to stand up. And you're gonna cancel me. Oh, Mike Barra hit on me. Yeah, I did. You know why? Because number 1, I'm a man, and I'm number 2, single. And number 3, as far as I know, you're single. And number 4, I find you attractive. So, what does hitting on me mean anyway? It means talking to somebody.
As a compliment.
Yeah, giving them a compliment, which really doesn't work. But trying to crack them up, making a joke. Oh my God, I made a sex joke. Oh, good God, as if men and women don't have sex. I've had when people come at me like that, I'm like, what are you actually accusing me of? Being heterosexual? Oh, I hit on a girl. Oh my God,
man, you. Oh no. Yeah. And we didn't even choose that word. That's a derogatory thing to me, because I don't remember anyone voting on that word, cisgendered. But also, there are tons of women complaining online that men aren't approaching them anymore.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, you're reaping what you sow. There's a whole bunch of women that in the previous century and that have been saying, or like last 10 years or whatever, that, hey, don't approach me. It's not okay anymore. I don't approve. And then guys, and then they're suing them. And then they're men are now afraid to be filmed on camera and then uploaded TikTok and then be shamed. So now, like, the depopulation agenda is succeeding with this, and you find out who are the people that were saying that are now alone. They didn't give good dating advice. Don't listen to them. You got to give a good vetting on who gives good dating advice. Otherwise, all these younger people are getting programmed by miserable people.
Never take dating advice from a woman, guys, because you never ask the fish how to catch the fish. It's the best advice I got since I turned single 20-some years ago. It's like, some girl will come down the aisle wearing these, yoga pants or leggings or whatever they call them that are skin. I mean, she may as well be naked, except that her butt is painted, her legs are painted. And some guy's looking at her, and they take a video of the guy looking at her. Oh, what a creep. It's like, don't stick your butt in my face if you don't want me to look at it. So my attitude is, if you're going to flash it, I am going to look at it, because number 1, that appears to be what you want me to do, because that's why you're dressed like that. So men have to start standing up for themselves. And so they shame you about it. Like, you can only be shamed if you accept the shame. I don't do that. Punch back on it.
You're only allowed to be shamed if you're a man. Like, they say, don't body shame me. Don't do all these shame. You only don't like shaming if it's in that perspective. Not like, shame men all they want. It's like all these double standards. That's like not saying equality. It's saying you want privilege.
Right. So the ladies want to be treated as equals, but they don't like being treated as equals. They still want the privilege of being ladies. Well, if you want the privilege of being a lady, act like a lady. If a man comes up to you and tries and starts to talk to you, be kind to him. Don't be a bitch. Why the reason why men don't approach anymore is because of how unpleasant women are uh, to be approached these days. It's like, oh, well, I would never. It's like they act like they're insulted because guys are attracted to them. Well, then why did you put your makeup on and do your hair and dress nice? Ladies, it's a total contradiction, and men are just like not bothering anymore. And the danger, Sean, which is a deep social societal danger, like you talked about, is that okay? So they've established a situation now, and now the men are just going to pick the robots. They're going to pick the robots over the girl, over the real girl, and then the birth rate's going to drop, like it is dropping, and the testosterone levels are going to drop, and so we're going to become a more weak, compliant, feminized society. So there is a dark agenda to this whole thing, and we've got to fight it. And I mean, if somebody calls you, oh, you're a creep. Why? Because I noticed an attractive young lady. Oh, okay, that's your definition. You go have a great life. I mean, it's nuts. So I think that what needs to happen is more guys have to speak out on this. We do have some leaders that are talking about this stuff, and guys like Rollo Tomasi, who I don't agree with on 100%, but he's right about a lot of things, and he taught me a lot about
Rational Man.
Yeah, The Rational Male is a great book. I don't agree with everything in it, but it's a great book to read. And I think
a lot of statistics that wake a lot of things up.
So I mean, it's a situation where they're trying to separate us by sex now, and they're trying to blur the lines of sex with all this transgender stuff, and that's also not okay. I mean, look, whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own bedroom, you go ahead and do it, but I think it should stay in your bedroom. It doesn't have to be out in front of everybody. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're cooking, and yeah, there's like this programming that's like hypergamy that like brings it to where it's like a leveling up game, and women, men and women, there's a leveling up. It's just we kind of have a delusional sense of where our level is at. We need to understand, like men are seeking sex. They're not really motivated by marriage. Marriage is more of a beneficial thing to women. And we men go along with it to secure the women they love that has opened their heart and like impressed them enough. And women are being freed from any responsibility or duty to and while men is mostly burdened by duty and like told, shamed if they don't be a traditional man. And then women can be modern women, and then it be to where they don't have any like performance of duty to where, hey, this is what men want, and women are like, I don't give a shit what you want. This is what I want, and then they list all their things that they want. And it all goes to the top 20% of men, and all the lower 80 are like suffering, and then it's like they got to do better. Yeah, I believe they do have to do better, but like there's a lot they're dealing with. Everyone's got a war in themselves, but also some people are choosing not to grow on the women's side, and they just take me as I am, and they're not thinking, okay, if you want to get the top 20% of men, they're like the 6 inches, 6-pack, 6 feet tall, and six-figure income. And only like 5% of people in the U.S. That are male are 6-figure income.
It's actually about 1%.
They're all fighting each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're all fighting. Women are all fighting over the same few guys. And here's the thing. This is the key part of this. Can I use the F word? Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know, but here's the reality that's talked about. And I didn't invent any of this. I'm just repeating it because it's true, because I found it to be true. Is the thing that women these days do not understand is men will fuck down. women will only fuck up. In other words, a woman will only have sex with you if she thinks you are better than her in some way that's important to her. Therefore, our responsibility in the game is to convince her, frequently through lying, that we're better than her. Okay? And and but men are not like that. Men, so you are, let's be honest, ladies, you're a 6. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a 2. You go onto social media and you have got hundreds of guys every day all up in your face throwing dick at you 24/7. That's the reality. But what happens to a woman who's a 6 or a 7 who would be happy, should be happy with a 6 or a 7 man, is she thinks because a guy who's an 8, 9, or 10 will sleep with her, that means that that's her level in a relationship. And it's not, because men, with us, it's like, oh, it's 2:00. It's 2:00. The club's closing. I haven't nailed anybody down yet. Who can I take? Oh, there's kind of a chubby one over there. There's a 6. That'll do. I'll go have sex with her. So it's because they don't understand the difference in how they think. They think that we think the way they do, and we don't. And so it's a masculine reality. It's not something wrong with our thinking. It's the way we're built. We are built in the old days, we're built to spread the seed to as many women as we can, to impregnate as many as we can. And you're built, ladies, to secure that one guy at the highest level you can for the maximum protection, the maximum benefit, the maximum access to resources. That's reality. So that's the problem that we have right now in culture, is that the dating apps have made it possible, like you said, for a lot of women to become delusional about where they are in the hierarchy. And therefore they are sitting there pining for guys they're never going to have. And it's not settling to meet a good man who treats you well, doesn't cheat on you, and will raise children with you. You're not settling. You're winning at life. It's what you came here for, not to play the field and, become a Kleenex to these 8, 9, and 10 guys. In looks, I'm talking primarily there about looks. Those guys are going to treat you like a Kleenex. Use it once, and then throw it away. That's what they do.
Right.
And so
the people that are at the top of the totem pole that the women are after, top 20% of men, they're of course mostly look for providing, or whatever they want to use in terms like motivation or ambition.
Yeah.
And to get resources to provide for them the greater lifestyle. And then also looks. But those men at the top of the totem pole are kind of assholes. They have so much they can choose from.
They have options.
They don't need to get married. They mostly play the field. They're going to cheat on you. You're not going to be able to secure them unless you want to be like in a number of women. So you also have to be strategic with other components that like allow for the guy to be okay with marriage and locking it down, like to where his options are less, such as maybe he's got a little bit more weight on him, but he can change that. He's got more into intelligence in his career. He's got more into status or things going on. There's all kinds of things women can choose besides that, and that are strategic. And it doesn't have to be settling. The level isn't, for women out there, your level is not who you can get to sleep with you. Men, there's phrases where men will fuck a hole in the wall. I don't do that, but so that's the thing. And
neither Sean nor I.
They will use and abuse you, and they will leave you. Right. They will use and abuse you and leave you if they're like too high a level, and you don't. After sex, you don't keep providing value to get them to stay around. So then the skill of keeping the man around and getting them all glowy and like, wow, this woman's the one, and like, oh, I gotta keep her. That is a skill that's dying. People are not being taught that, and they think they're great as they come.
Yeah,
your level is who you can get to commit to you.
Yeah, again, that you're exactly right. Your level is not who you can get to sleep with you. Your level is who you can get to commit to you. You know, I knew this. I knew this chick in Florida. Pretty, mid-30s, got some weight on her, 3 kids by 2 different guys, but she's pretty, and she's like, oh my God, the 7th level of hell in my DMs. It's all these guys, 10, 20 years older than me in their 40s and early 50s. And she's 35. And I'm just like, that's your level. You can get other guys to sleep with you. You're not going to get them to commit to you. So you need to look at who you can get to commit to you. That's who you should be with if you want a partner. There's some people over here. I'm thank you for the support, Ron. You're the best. For me to be me, for you want a real relationship. That's cool. That's cool. And I agree with you. You don't want to be by yourself. Men are also better at living by themselves than women are. We're better at it. It's just one of the things we do better. So, I mean, you have to like get off the dating apps and meet some real people in the real world, and you'll find there's a lot of good, decent guys out there. But again, the deeper, darker thing here is, ladies, when the robots come online, you're going to have to compete with those, and they're going to be nicer to us than you are. So, it's Sean, it's something that was an abstract conversation 5 years ago. Now it's like here, it's almost here. So it's really important because it's only the future of the human race. And as you said, we used to
only the future, right?
Exactly. We used to have this structure where a good man could get a pretty woman to be his wife if he was a good man and he provided and he worked and he, all that. And now it's completely turned upside down. So don't know where we go.
That old Simpson quote: "Think of the children. You have to think of the future generations." And a lot of people are caught up in themselves, and not allowing for the population to increase. And there's all these marriage counseling we got to do for the masculine and feminine. And also, if we want to grow and ascend, we got to get through these things. If you want to even talk about, anyone out there want to talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And yeah, this is a great topic. Not a lot of people are comfortable talking about.
I don't think we're gonna. I don't know that we may talk. Maybe we should talk about it at Sedona. In Sedona, maybe we at a panel or something. We should bring it up.
Yeah.
Let's for do me it. To be me. Let's do this. It says no. I'm sorry. I can do that all by myself. You're missing the point. You shouldn't have to. That's the man's job. That's why you have a man. Is to do that stuff, to take out the garbage.
They're okay with sacrificing themselves for you. You just got to be nice and kind and feminine to them.
Nice and kind and feminine. That's all you have to be, is just be what you're supposed to be. Stop trying to be us. You're not as good at it as we are, first of all. And you just
we don't like it done to us too.
Yeah.
So it's not useful to us.
They end up lonely with a house full of cats. That's not the way things are supposed to be.
All right. Yeah. So this is a great topic. Please, let's try to do this in the conference. And if not, then this Toxic Masculine Tuesday sounds cool. So I'd love to help you with that. So just to cover, I don't want to keep you forever. Feel free to go more into what you're going to talk about in the presentation, disclosure, world events coming up, anything you want to talk about with that.
Well, I mean, I do want to talk about all those things. I don't really know what Dave wants me to talk about. Does he want me to be more spiritual because it's Sedona? But these things all have spiritual aspects. So I will be talking about the disclosure agenda. The disclosure agenda is satanic. It is not good. The people that you're listening to, the people that are, I can't complain. I've been on Fox a number of times, so I can't really complain. But the people that are the go-to people for the UFO movement on disclosure, which appears to be coming, are some of them are dishonest, some of them are just grifters, but they're not the people that you should be listening to because they're not telling you the truth. Most of these videos you're seeing are explainable. They're conventional objects. They're not alien spacecraft. So what's the agenda? And I believe what I'm going to talk about is the agenda is, natural law, right? Natural law says that the order of things is God, man, governments, and corporations. What they've tried to do for the last, since the 60s, is invert that to make it governments, corporations, man, and God doesn't exist. They tried to kill God. They failed. God, Jesus, whoever, always persists. So now what they're pivoting to now with the UFO agenda, the new pivot is they're going to try to replace God with the alien. That is the new agenda. And you can tell from what's coming out of people's mouths that are having these briefings. You've got being authentic is badass, men and women. You got Anna Paulina Luna talking about interdimensional beings. It's like, what the hell does that mean? It's an angel, right? They're gonna try to convince you. They're gonna try to convince all of us that they created our religions, that they created Jesus, that it was all their idea and it was all a control mechanism. And the only way to be truly free is to do what you want. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law, as Aleister Crowley said. That is Luciferianism. That leads to Satan. That is not the way we're supposed to live our lives. We're supposed to live our lives in coherent, merged love with God. We can still make our individual choices, but we're supposed to be in alignment with God. And that, I think, is the deep, dark secret of the UFO agenda that's been coming out. And now that you inspired me, I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that and sex bots at Sedona.
yeah, covering all the clickbait. Yeah. So connecting to God, absolutely, like live my life like that. I think it's a abhorrent, terrible thing that we're I kind of go into psionics, reverse engineering superhuman abilities, but like when I go into magic, and there's all these like magic books that are just infiltrated with Luciferian, and it's just awful. So at least I get the gold nuggets and how to connect through source, your source out there, whatever guys out there may be in your religion, and go within to your connection of your divine creator that is connected to the fractal of all, and connecting more with the universe, getting out of that separation consciousness, that illusion, that attachment, the Maya, that pull that goes to the darkness, that is the negative magic that is giving your power away. And that's what they're doing. And like, how do you think is the cure to hold in people's minds with up against all this propaganda that's going to be coming up that tries to twist the truth from different perspectives? Like we look on like CNN and Fox News at how they take the same story and they just twist it a little bit towards their agenda. And how people can see past that towards the truth. What would you say?
Turn off your TV and turn off your phone for at least several hours a day. I don't do it. I suck at it, but that's the way to do it. There's some memes out there that are great, Sean. Oh God, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. How do I fix that? Clicks off the TV. Stop paying attention to it. What's happening in Iran is a problem for the Iranians. The Persian people need to take their country back from the Islamists, but it's not your problem. Why are you worrying about it? Why are you spending energy on it? You're an American. You have a house. You have cats, maybe, if you're a lady, Focus on that. Turn everything off. Put on your Havin beanie to block out the EM signals and pet your cat or take your dog for a walk in the park. That's how you fight it. That's how you be silent. It's hard for me to be silent. It's hard for me to do that, but it's what we should do to get more connected for at least a few hours a day. That's what I would do.
Well said. Detachment is the pathway to enlightenment in Hinduism and Buddhism, going within to your greatest infinite self that knows everything you need and want, connects to the universe, can manifest a will, knows the answer to every problem. And all this attachment to everyone else, their emotions flooding in, being dumped on us, they're trying to control us, manipulate us, get us focused on all these distractions. What is behind all distractions? Everyone answers this question differently. What comes to your mind when you think of what is behind all distractions?
Satan. What I don't know.
That's an interesting answer.
Satan is trying to get between you and God, and that's the word, that's the name, that's the answer.
Oh, I got you. Like the cause of distractions. I meant like what are the distractions trying to prevent you from focusing on? Let's say.
Well, they're trying to keep you in a state of agitation, and therefore not focusing on your true heart, what your true heart desires, and what your true heart is, what you're filled with. Oh, I want the love of a woman. I don't have that in my life. Okay, play some video games. Surf the web. Watch corn on your computer. That's how they do it. That's what the point is. It's to keep you from being connected to God, to source, to reality. That's the reality. That what you are in those private moments when there's no music playing, there's no football games on, there's no texting going on, that's who you are. So, find out who that person is and like them. I love cats too, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
I love cats and I love dogs and I love horses and donkeys and deer and all of them. Cows.
Yeah.
Cows can be very tasty. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Exactly. The connection to the founders of Super Strength, the ox, strong like ox. So yeah, that's beautiful. And I just misinterpreted because the way I put it was like people usually answer, if I were to get rid of all distractions, how I put it. I agree with you, the poser, Satan, and the apex multidimensional predators that are generating evil to cause these different things.
The purpose of the distraction is to prevent you from discovering who you are.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so who are you guys out there? Find deep into yourself and discover this. Get past those constant need for dopamine hits and generate your own happiness and love and bliss so that you're a sported blanket of not detaching from the external world and external desires, and you're able to see beyond those veils of, okay, if I'm not focused on that, then what am I focused on? What is the undefinable past because most of our language is based on resources and survival and building up off those things. So it's like going up towards the light of the unknowable, which we know just by analyzing and being that pure self that's beyond those directions that we don't need to be in anymore once we detach from it.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to that talk you're going to come up. Anything you want to talk about with what your perspective on the new drip dip disclosure is going to be? This talks about was it 4th of July? There was talks of him releasing like
Never
a speech
happened.
Or something. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen next?
Trump was going to give a speech yesterday. I think I know the speech. I think I have the speech. It's actually President Kennedy's speech that he was going to give in 1963, right before they killed him. So, yeah, we're gonna talk all about that, about all that stuff. Now you're giving me all these new ideas I got to throw into this whole presentation. I think it's going to be a State of the Union, ufology State of the Union thing, and how it connects to all the spiritual battles that are taking place in our country and around the world right now.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. So, you think it's going to happen? And what do you think after that's going to look like? Do you think there's going to be like a order to like new like little drip of files, new like topics and questions, and then memes of different races coming out? What do you think?
Well, remember, the term disclosure means government disclosure. Okay, you should not trust your government to tell you the truth about anything. They don't even tell you the truth about the jobs numbers and the unemployment and stuff like that. They won't tell you the truth about shit, including aliens. So whatever you get told in terms of disclosure is not going to be the truth. it's going to be somebody's agenda-driven version of the truth. It's going to have some truth in it, and it's going to have a lot of BS. And what you need to do is be aware enough of the issues, the people involved, their characteristics, their tendencies, and your own inner centeredness to know what's BS and what's not. And it's designed to open a door. It's designed to open a door for open communication between us and them, whoever they are. And that's in itself is a good thing, but do not allow anyone else to dictate the terms upon which you can have that contact and communication, because that's what they want to do. They want to control. They realize they can't stop this because the aliens can land on the White House lawn anytime they want, just like they can't stop the financial reset, because guess what? Vietnam can revalue their currency anytime they want. They're totally qualified to do that right now. I'm just going to let you know that it's all done. So there is a power out there that is threatening the status quo. And the agenda of disclosure is a disclosure to continue the status quo power structure into the next step. And we can't allow that. We need to redefine everything ourselves and decide for ourselves. That's the choice we have to make. What's the new world going to look like? Because we're on the brink of creating it.
Yeah, well said. And can you tell the audience again, what is your presentation title called? What's it going to be on?
I don't know at this point. I think it's going to be the ufology State of the Union or something like that now. Because having this discussion made me think about a whole bunch of other things I should talk about, but I wasn't going to talk about. So let's do a State of the Union. Where are we at? Where are we at in the shift that we're all in the middle of, that we've all felt already? You can criticize social media and male-female relationships and talk about all the stuff that we did, but you cannot deny that things have dramatically shifted between men and women since 2005 to today. It's dramatically changed. So now we have to decide, is this what we want, or do we want something different? Because the changes happen. So now it's a question of how do we adapt to it. So I think I'll be talking about that mostly. So I can't give you a title. Dave didn't make me give him a title, but it'll be the ufological State of the Union, and it'll involve a lot of other aspects of society that we just talked about today.
And so that'll be come on down to Sedona, look up 5D event, Rising Stars Conference, and it's like 18th, 19th. So come on down, say hello, let's hang out. Can you plug all the social medias you have? You're on X, you're on
yes,
YouTube.
I'm on Twitter X, Mike Barra 333. I'm on Instagram, Mike Barra 333. Look for the 333s. I'm on Facebook. I'm just Mike Barra, BARA, just like it is in my little Chiron right there. I'm open on all those platforms. I do have a Telegram called Mike Barra Chat. You can join that. That's mostly financial. I try to keep these things all segregated. I don't like to talk about the financial stuff on Twitter very often. That's politics and aliens. And Facebook is personal. Instagram is more personal. Hey, look at how cute my cat is. So, find me on all those platforms. I'm out there. And, if you really want more of this kind of conversation, I would say go to the Y-Files on YouTube. Check out the Basement podcast interview. It's similar to this interview I've had with Sean today. And AJ asked me a lot of really good questions that we get into the Kennedy assassination and a bunch of cool stuff like that. So get on over there. Check out the Basement podcast on the Y-Files channel. And you'll get to hear talking fish. Hecklefish.
Hecklefish, huh? Nice.
Yeah,
And You got any website or way people can
Oh
contact
yeah,
you, books?
just Mike Barra on Google. I am working on a new book right now. I'm calling it The Four Coups. As it stands, that's the working title. It's about the 4 presidents that have been removed or were attempted to be removed over the alien question. It's about Presidents Kennedy, President Nixon, President Reagan, and President Trump, how they've tried to remove all 4 of those guys because they were going to talk about aliens when they were not supposed to. So that's what that's going to be about. And I'm working on that on a daily basis, on the daily.
Any other books you've written that you want to plug to?
No, I would recommend Dark Mission: A Secret History of NASA. I've got it. All of them are on Amazon.com. The Choice is on there. Ancient Aliens and JFK. Ancient Aliens and Secret Societies. Ancient Aliens on the Moon. Ancient Aliens on Mars 1. Ancient Aliens on Mars 2. Secret Agenda or Hidden Agenda. NASA and the Secret Space Program, which is all about the secret space program. And The Triangle, about the Bermuda Triangle. And I've got a novel there called Lightbringer, which you can pick up, which is sort of an X-Files meets the Da Vinci Code thing. And I got another one done, but it's pretty edgy, and I'm not sure the world is quite ready to read that yet.
Ooh, what's it called, though? I like edgy.
It's called Altar of the Dark Star, and it's about the Anunnaki coming to Earth, and an Anunnaki falling in love with a human woman, and ends up becoming the first vampire. Vampires are aliens, basically, but it's super edgy.
That's really interesting. I've heard of that connection before.
Yeah,
and it's like, did Enki pour his seed into the children? And
I mean, in the novel it's Marduk, but But basically, this guy is left in charge of Earth, falls for a human girl, can't help himself, violates all the laws, ends up being punished by his father, the king, if you love the humans so much, guess what? You get to feed off them for eternity. That's what he does to him. That's how the vampire is an alien virus. So it's kind of that, and there's a lot of soap opera in there, girls, but there's also, a lot of sex and a lot of violence. So
so get your romance.
All of you ladies who like 50, all you ladies who like 50 Shades of Grey are gonna love this book. I think I'm gonna hold that one. I think I'm gonna hold that one till February of next year.
Nice, like that. Yeah, it's good that you promoted that. Yeah, that people will enjoy. I did some things on this research on the sanguine vampires with some military document disposer experts. Any other events you have coming up besides this conference and things that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, I've got this, not really that's current now. I'm going to be doing the Alien event in Las Vegas here. You're going to be there. That's in October. I also have another event, a local library event in Las Vegas. And then I'm going to have the Pahrump UFO conference is the week after the Las Vegas Alien event. They have a big show out there with my buddy Joe De La Torre, who does a lot of UFO research out there in Pahrump, which is kind of active. It's pretty active because it's where Art Bell used to broadcast from. So just that stuff, and I just did Roswell last week. I did a call-in, so that's where it stands right now.
Nice. And anything else you want people to know about that you're doing? Oh, can you name your different podcasts and things and shows that people can look at?
Sure. Monday at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, I do Real News Live with Susan Gretz, who's my psychic partner. We go through the news, the finance stuff. She does psychic readings. It's a great show. We also do a show on Tuesday, Toxically Masculine Tuesday. It's me, Dr. Brooks Agnew, Steve Doran, the Trail Boss, and TV's Blake Wally. We just do a news show. That's strictly what's the real news. We tell you Mitch McConnell's really dead. We tell you why they really went to Iran. They really want the uranium so they can prove that it's American uranium that the Iranians have been getting, that kind of thing. Wednesday, I do a second show with Susan. That's 1 hour earlier. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Tell the Truth Wednesday. We tell you the truth. We give you an update on everything financial. And then Wednesday night, I do Whiskey and Wisdom with the original Mark Z and his son Zester, which is kind of kind of a guy's show again. We just shoot the shiz, and I try to be as funny as I can be. I usually have Thursdays off. I'm here with you, Sean, on my day off. But then Friday, Susan and I do Free Reading Friday, where Susan gives away free tarot card readings and stuff for anybody who super chats or Rumble Rants. She'll give you an angel number reading, then a tarot card reading, and that show is Friday nights. So that's what I do. That's my regular schedule.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that. And this is partially a dating podcast. So like, where can people get a hold of you if they want to, try for your heart?
Well, it's funny. It's funny. We on Whiskey and Wisdom, we did this segment. We called it. They wanted to call it Mike Barra's bad dating advice, but it's actually pretty good dating advice. Like, well, how do I meet a woman? What do I say to her? And I'm like, look, here's the thing. Let me give you a tip. Let me give you a little bit of Mike Barra's good dating advice, guys, before we go here. When you meet a girl, she will size you up within the first 30 seconds to 2 minutes. She will put you into one of two categories. Yes, I would, or no, I wouldn't. Okay. So that's the reality of it. That's what women do. They assess immediately. So go in with your best shot. Be funny, be smart, be engaging, be the best you that you can be. And that's where it all starts, because in the end, what we want to end up with is love, marriage, and babies. That's what the world needs.
Yeah, that's good advice. I've also heard men have like categories of keeper, sleeper, and sweeper, but like they don't have it like right away, judging because they're the pursuer. But if they'll see if you're worthy of committing to, depending on the action. So that's why all these skills for each gender need to be learned. We got to keep this human race going.
That's the thing. There's been so many single mothers in the last 30 years that we have a lot of boys who don't know how to deal with women in the real world. Unfortunately, they aren't taught those lessons by their dads anymore.
Most people that end up in jail, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but yeah, we got to talk on this stuff later. So yeah, let's see what we can do for that conference.
Maybe we need a separate men's panel at the Sedona.
Yeah, we should set up something. But like, I'm deeply passionate about healing the masculine and the feminine issues and things going on there. I tune into stuff all the time on how to do that, and it comes out with great data. So I think you got the cures. So let's figure out something later. So.
All right.
Anything else you wanted to list off? Any words of wisdom you want to leave people? And then you can feel free to go. I'll wrap up the show and plug some stuff.
No, just stay positive and hopeful. And I do think we're going to have, a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the news. That's going to be disturbing, chilling, frightening. You can always turn the news off. And you should focus only completely on what's happening in the world right around you. That's what matters. Sometimes World War III, if it looks like World War III, sometimes it's only on your phone. What if it's only on your phone? What if it's not real?
Yeah, poison worldviews controlling us, and we don't know if they're true.
Exactly. Hang in there, be optimistic, and don't let them control what you choose to believe.
Yeah. Go within, detach, become your true self. I'm Sean Bond, founder of Sonic League. We're in Mexico trying to figure out or debunk or prove if this alien artifact thing going on is real or not, or trying to figure out we're finding like T-lock things, which are like supposedly a giant rain god thing, crystal skulls.
You're gonna bring some more of those. Bags. Yeah, you're gonna bring some more of those to Sedona, right?
Yeah, we'll have fun with that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We'll see if they're real. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Mike. Love you, brother. I'm glad you're in the world. Thank you for spreading your wisdom. Let's talk about more stuff. Feel free to head out. I'll just end the show.
All right. Thanks. I'll see you in a couple of weeks in Sedona. Bye-bye.
See you around. All right. So I'm for everyone out there again, I'm Sean Bond. Yeah, and so these little babies. So for you out there that we're finding, here's some footage before I plug my stuff so that it's not just fake bullshit. We're digging a bunch of that stuff, crazy footage. for you. And this is what I'll be doing for my presentation. I'll be talking about alien artifacts that are being dug up in Mexico, seeing if they're real, if they're debunkable. We're skeptical, we're openly skeptical, seeing if what's real, listing all the different things, factors that we're finding, like why are they got Egyptian hieroglyphs on them? Why do they got Egyptian gods? Why they got a Sumerian gods in cuneiform? Is that weird? Why is that in Mexico? Why do we got to dig 7 feet down and punch through this kind of stone that seems like cement and it glows in UV light and it's crazy? What's going on with that? There's things with metallurgy being found and orichalcum and rare geopolymers being found. Why? Let's see. Here's another one. Why do we got to dig through roots? Why is there a pain in the ass? Why there's so many ants that bite that bite the shit out of us? It's a pain in the ass. Why is there weird ants that are deciding to go into the chambers? And us finding one of the new cave systems, and there's like some crazy stuff coming out. Why is there DNA helixes on these objects? Why are these weird species, mermaids? What's going on with this? Why are they glowing in UV light? Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Why are there these cone heads like in Dave Aykroyd's Coneheads movie? Holy crap. And then you look into, they're also in the Alien Species book. I forget what they're called, but that was leaked by the KGB that you can download online for free. These cone heads. And why they're in Hindu mythos. And that they're also in that weird Islamic North African theory that if you've ever heard of that was that Kuma or something, where that black scientist that was evil made white people. If you've ever heard of that one, that's a little interesting for people out there. Here's another one. Here's this is in Tula, by the way, and why is it that there's these Tula statues that are on the Tula pyramid that we're finding underground, and it's like in this statue we found one that it's a helmet, and underneath it is a long skull like cone head, and the head glows in UV light. Why is all these things? But we're asking questions, is this being faked? Is this being planted? Are we being fooled? Are we being set up for something in the future? Is there some Illuminati cult thing, Raelian cult, whatever belief of what this could be? We keep digging. It's like the amount of pain in the ass this would be to fake is crazy, but I'm open to it being faked. What is going on? So there's that, and then here's that head, and so these are like the giant statues on the top of the pyramid of Tula, pretty much exactly, and then here's the head of the ET looking being. Okay, and we're finding all these different long skulls, and my God, am I covered in dirt. Because it takes a lot of work, blisters, all that stuff. It's so worth it though. I love it. I love doing this job. Here is the statue glowing in UV light for everyone out there. Some weird bioluminescent material. And you can look up fluorescent minerals. It's crazy. Yeah, and so there's that, and Yeah, we're finding all kinds of things. A lot of ET crystal skulls. We're going to be making a documentary, so look forward to that. You know, a lot of regular kind of artifacts. But yeah, you know, they're covering this stuff up, so we'll see what we can bring out for you guys. Reach past disclosure, you know, all that. Get it out to you guys. These crazy long skulls. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a presentation on this. We're finding, you know, we so far got hundreds of artifacts right now, and we're forming a museum. So yeah, support the Alien Artifact Museum if you want. You can contact me at sonicleague@gmail.com. We subscribe to Sonic League YouTube, see more of these and some of the lives and shorts that we bring up. And look at these alien Gucci handbags. There's tens of thousands coming out in Mesoamerica. It's a tidal wave. It's not going to be stopped. Farmers are throwing them out. There's not one alike. There's got all this erosion patina and magnesium integrated into it. That's almost impossible fake. These weird, you know, coming out of UFOs, DNA helixes, eyes, the overpowered spiritually. You know, you gotta do a lot if you want to fake that. But yeah, I'm open to it. UFOs being uncovered. So whatever you want to think about that. And you know, all these different Anubis, avian type beings, long skulls. Strange beings of different types being depicted, many different types of shaped heads, things that glow in the dark, Egyptian type beings, long skulls, eagle people, reptoids, alligator people. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so stay open, stay skeptical, find the truth. We're greater than you've read and heard or studied. I'm Sean Bond. Please do subscribe on us on YouTube. It's Sonic League, Facebook Sean Bond, Sonic League, Instagram Sean Bond Sonic on X. Yeah, add me, chat. I'm very approachable. I unlock superhuman dormant abilities, read into Sonic, sometimes dating advice, you know, whatever. Help you manifest your greatest self, become your greatest self. Help amplify abundance, release the blocks, limitations, turn up the third eye to see brighter, clearer. Teach telepathy, psychic tracking, reading into the Akasha, as well as knowingness can turn on your oracle senses. You can answer any question you want. Be doing a course soon on memory retrieval meditations and remembering who you are, past lives, going through your DNA, tracking through all that, retrieving things. You can even go into abduction and retrieving abduction scenarios. You know, some people like to go into even military abduction and all that. So that's fun. So be doing a course for that. If you're interested, go to sonicleague@gmail.com. Just say you're interested in the course. Doing possible trips in the future to like Mexico, big place of power, like Chichen Itza, Palenque, Teotihuacan, many of the pyramids of superpower that can change your life, change your DNA, manifest deep power inside you, turn on abilities. So if you're interested in that, also do mystery school, teach you a bunch of abilities while doing that. Hit me up with tripping Corey to sonicleague@gmail.com. Yeah, and then we got shows every once in a while, so don't miss them. Very empowering. Got the Superpowered show on Humankind Center for Sedona, so subscribe to them. Humankind Center app, Superhuman, and they're super. So we are Superhuman Show on Humankind Center YouTube channel, and download the Humankind Center app. And I am also doing more shows in the future with like Tale of Two Wizards with Mir. So if you want to learn how to turn on your magic, feel free to look forward to that. I just did some shows with Laura Eisenhower. Just got back from Bases conference in the UK. Turned on big things with the Stonehenge right before Kia Starmer stepped down. That was awesome. And yeah, we'll be talking. So get my word out there. If you want to do interviews, feel free to contact me. If you want to do shows, if you want to trade, if you want to support each other, feel free to reach out to me. I like doing trades, abilities, sessions, whatever you got in career. If you want to gain superhuman abilities, I'm up to trade. I also do consultations on my site, so you can go on sonicleague.com and then the drop-down menu services or /services after sonicleague.com to book a consultation, healing, clearing, depossession from distance, whatever. You turn on that greater power in yourself, become your greatest self. And yeah, if you're interested in alien artifacts, being contactee, finding a way to get alien artifacts yourself, I know how. But yeah, and then we gotta connect these out to the world, breach past disclosure, breach past the deception and limitation on disclosure that's holding us back, like the skeptics that held back Nikola Tesla. Breach into a sonic renaissance, disclosure renaissance, greater awareness of consciousness. Okay, and yeah. Look out for future shows. Love you guys. Feel free to show your support in the comments, show your love. If you want to see more of these shows, let us know, as well as destroy that like. Share this out to a bunch of people on your pages, all that. The more it's shared out, the more people know who want to see this stuff. And we'll do more of these shows. And also I'll be giving Sonic upgrades of abundance to people that support me in sharing it. So thank you. Yeah. And yeah, look out again at the conferences coming up in Sedona, 5D event. So get your tickets in the chat below, as well as I'll be doing the Super Soldier Conference in Hawaii right after. So also get your tickets for that if you're interested in that kind of thing. So love you all. Hope you have a wonderful day. And keep being you and getting the word out there and making your big impact on the growth and rising up of humanity out of our unnecessary suffering. So love you all. Have a good one. See you guys later. Bye.